People have asked me, how do you make the motor drive work for lifting and lowering the engine cover? Well, I showed in a previous video how I made the cover hinged, and I have a gas strut on the unit to help reduce the amount of effort required to lift it, because the gas strut lifts the weight, the motor controls the motion. And you can see back there in the corner that little shiny bracket, and then there's a rod that goes up this way. It ducks under my one water radiator connection and over the other, and goes back into this cover that it resembles the Lamborghini muffler cover. The motor drive is in there. I took the cover off, and there you can see the motor drive. There's the linkage. There's a spherical rod in on the end, and the other part of the linkage goes back up to the cover. So when you run this thing, you can see there is a power window motor laying down sideways, and there it goes. Okay. And I have switch trippers on here and here. Two switches this side, one that side. That one stops the power to the motor on the way when the cover is open, and the other two one stops the power of the motor on the way down, and the other one is a permit switch that allows the ground contact for the relay for the motor to power the deck lid above it from coming down. So while the engine cover is up, you cannot move the engine deck lid down. When the engine deck lid is down, you cannot move the engine cover up. So you go back and forth between the two. Now I have, you can see I have a terminal strip and a whole bunch of relays under here. They're all for lights and lighting, and this seemed to be the best place to do it because they control all of my strobe lights and my under hood lights and the lights underneath my engine cover. And you can see I put a bunch of lights in there. There's some lights shine down the mirror surfaces. I'm probably going to include a couple more lights down below, but they light up the entire engine compartment when the cover is open. When the cover is down, I have lights on the deck lid to light the top of the cover. So these relays all have to do with the lighting, and seem like a good place to go. All of this is why I have all these wires and all these connectors, and they unplug and plug back in, and everything gets taken care of. It's a unit. So underneath I have my shroud that forms the ductwork over my mufflers that are air cooled. The motor, power window motor, sits right over top of that cooling duct, just so I make sure that motor does not get too hot. I made a cover around that motor and connected a piece of hose from the air supply, the cooling air for my mufflers, into there, and I air cool that motor also, just because I could. There it is. Nice and simple. That's how I make the engine cover go up and down.